Baba, they don't bust us for factory. NAFDAC, police, EFCC.
And we kill all those dirty rats.
Ah, Baba, unleash me, make I go out there, Baba.
If they burn you well.
If they burn you well too.
You just stand up, come and meet me.
You don't do anything. You just talk for nothing. Up, you don't get. Down, you don't get.
But Trav, these guys, they are bad guys. No, I have never smoked before.
What happened to Nimbe?
I just noticed that boy don't change.
Holy Shaolin Temple. Your son don't turn to ninja.
Drama that is worth the hype. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, how can you tell the story or address the issue of drug abuse, rape, parental upbringing, family issues and all that stuff in one movie and do it excellently, like excellento? It was that interesting. Toyin Abraham's acting is fantastic. This is 1 hour 55 minutes of my life well spent, and I don't regret it for any reason. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kelechi Udegbe, and yes, like yes guys, yes. You know when they say this is it, this is what I've been talking about, this is what I have been waiting for. And yeah, because of how excited I am, I've got juice today to drink and gist with you. So thank you and welcome on board to another movie review right here on my channel. My name is Kelechi Udegbe. In case you're new here, remember to like and subscribe, and yes, be a part of the journey, a part of the family, because on my channel I do movie reviews, lifestyle, conversation, interviews, everything that you find interesting. I'm all about entertainment and education as well as fun. Yeah, that's it. Anyway guys, this is a review for the movie Nimbe, and I am quite excited that I saw this movie. You know, the funny part of it is this movie is over a year old. Like, it was released sometime in March 2019, but I'm talking about it because it just got to Netflix. So it means that more people have the opportunity to see the movie now, and even those who had seen it before can, you know, probably decide to just relax and see it again. We don't have work, plenty of work this time around. Corona is still outside, you know what I mean? So yeah, Nimbe is over a year old, and it was in the cinema last year. Some people saw it last year. Somehow, I didn't even see the movie. I'm not sure I ever heard about this movie, funny enough. Like, I didn't pay attention to this movie, that kind of thing. But coming to Netflix on the 24th of July, I'm like, okay, it's Toyin Abraham. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, Toyin Abraham is one of my favorites right now, and she's got all my respect, so why not? Why shouldn't I check it out? And I decided to sit back a day after I got to Netflix to have a good time and chill. And yes, it was totally worth my time. Every minute I spent watching this movie was totally worth it. Let's talk about the movie for a little bit. The movie is by Toyin, and it had people like Toyin Abraham, who played a Calabar chick, a Calabar wife actually. Her name is Udwak. We also had Odunlade Adekola, who is Bayo, a Yoruba husband to Toyin Abraham, who is a Calabar wife. We had their son, Nimbe, Nimbe, and that was played by Chimezie Imo, yeah. And we also had, looking at the second family, we had Raf, who is from a rich family. I can't remember his name now, his real name. We also had the drug lord. We also had the drug lord that was played by, I'm trying to remember his name now, Kelechi Udegbe. In the movie, it was named AK, yeah. And then his sister Kweju. Who other person is we're talking about? We had brother Shaggy, who is part of the AK drug team. Basically, those are the people you need to know in this movie. And it was a story that was centered around family troubles. I mean, Odunlade Adekola, Bayo, and his wife Toyin Abraham, Udwak, had the son, Nimbe, who, you know, was an amazing child from the onset, right? Although we're introduced to the part where he had committed a crime and he wanted to tell us his story. He told us the fact that he wasn't this way before now, but this is what he is right now. This is who he is right now due to some circumstances of life. So we're introduced to his life before he got to that point, you know, that kind of thing. And that introduction started off with how his father didn't pay attention to him. His father was abusive physically to his mom, and then with words and all of that. So it was like an emotional roller coaster for him. A child who saw his mother and father fight a lot for the slightest things. A child who was never good enough for his father, you know, took a lot of insults, bullying in school. I mean, there was this guy in school, what's that his name again? I'm trying to remember the name of that guy who bullied him a lot in his class. You know, that kind of thing. It was a son going through a lot, but did not have attention, did not get the required attention. Trust me, Toyin Abraham was a good mother, so to say, because she liked her son, she loved him. She also talked about the fact that they used to talk a lot, but the husband trouble was just a little bit too much for her, and she just had to deal with being right by her son and being right by her husband, you know, that kind of thing. Always trying to ensure that her son doesn't get into trouble. Even when he does, she wants to stand by him, you know, pet him and also correct him at the same time. And liked her kind of style, yeah, but it was just that if one parent is missing, it's not complete. See, if it's not complete, it's not complete. That's just the truth about upbringing. If it's not complete, it's not complete. If one person is doing the job of both parties, there will always be lapses. And that's what this movie definitely pointed out to us. I mean, the father was not just an alcoholic, he was also into betting and all of that. Yeah, that on one side. Then, you know, after all the bullying in school, and then I think one of my favorite scenes, at that point, I even felt like this movie is almost getting to the end. I didn't know we just got started, where Nimbe was bullied again by the guys from school, and he was on his way to get his father food. They threw the father's food away, and when he got home, the father was like, "Where's the food I asked you to get?" And he was like, they poured it away and all of that. The father said, "Who? Oh yeah, take me there. Oh yeah, both of you fight." You know, it was hilarious because apart from the fact that, see, I just feel like there was comedy, but they were not overdoing it. Every character, nobody was overdoing it. Nobody was overplaying their role. They didn't have to try so much to make me laugh. Every scene made sense to me, that kind of thing. I'm one person who, when I'm seeing a movie, I'm probably yawning in about 5-6 scenes, you know, that kind of thing, because they are probably not necessary or they are boring. But every scene made sense to me in Nimbe. Every scene, I want to know what happened next. You know, everybody played their role perfectly. They didn't overdo it. Like I said, they addressed the issue of rape, parental upbringing, drug abuse, and they did it perfectly. You know, from that scene where Odunlade took his son and it was like, "Oh yeah, you must beat him," and then eventually beat the son up. You know, there was this guy who had been noticing him, was more like the guardian angel we did not ask for, you know, that kind of thing. His name is Raf, from a rich home whose parents are also not available. You know, his own case was the reverse of Nimbe's case. They were rich, but his parents were not available for him, so he decided to go straight to find love and attention, according to him. Meanwhile, Nimbe, from the average family, but no attention, no love. His father would always call him a disappointment. So it was more like the guy didn't like how he was treated. They were all in the same community, funny enough. So everybody knew everybody, but probably, you know, you can be in a community and you don't talk to a particular person. That was how it was for Raf and Nimbe. But eventually, Raf had to come out to him, and then they started being friends. He decided to introduce him to drinking, alcohol, smoking, took him to the den where it is happening. Raf happened to be a roller in the den of AK and his gang. And eventually, you know, Raf had been trying to get the attention of the Lord in the drug group for a while, but he didn't get it. But Nimbe got in newly, and he got the attention of AK by, he's also an artist. He draws by drawing AK's portrait on his birthday. Raf got jealous, and the rest became history. He didn't want to seem like, "Oh, you coward, I just brought you newly here and you're already taking my shine," you know, that kind of feeling, which is totally understandable. AK has a sister, Kweju, which I did not mention. I think I did mention earlier on. Kweju is, according to AK, the mother that is left for him. And it was funny to see that as a drug lord, he was so protective of his younger sister, buys her everything. But unfortunately, Peju was in love with Lemon, who is also in AK's gang, and he raped her, got her pregnant, helped her to abort. Eventually, she died. And at that point, Nimbe was already introduced to the gang, you know, that kind of thing. It was, I think he had the opportunity of staying with Peju and AK because at some point his father threw him out of the house and he had to go stay with the gang fully. It was not just him, threw him and the mother out of the house. The mother went to her friend. Nimbe also went to his friends, that's AK and the gang. So he already bonded with Peju, that's AK younger sister, before she died. So he was furious about the death. They got to know it was Lemon that forced her to do abortion, and Lemon was killed. So it was a story around gang issues, going astray, getting involved in crimes because she did not get parental attention. It was a story around rape also was introduced, abortion was introduced, and they didn't have to do too much to let you know that you shouldn't have sex with someone without consent, you shouldn't engage in abortion. I mean, those lessons were detailed. Even if it was in one scene, the lessons were detailed, like detailed, read my lips, detailed. They even touched on bully, because the guy who was bullying Nimbe, at some point Nimbe couldn't take it anymore. At that point, he had already become part of the gang. He had a gun in his bag and he shot the guy in school. I'm not saying anyone who is bullying you, you should go, you know, shoot them or anything. But then he also sends a message to bullies out there to say, see, one day this person you're bullying might not have it anymore and they will come for you. You know, that kind of thing. Although Nimbe finally paid for the things he did, you know, I feel like the day of reckoning came for Nimbe's parents when after Nimbe's father had thrown out Udwak, that's his wife, and Nimbe out of the house because Udwak mistakenly washed ticket of, I think, 1.5 million bets he won. She washed his trouser like she would do, wash his clothes. And she didn't know there was a ticket in the pocket. And she washed it, he came back, he was looking for the ticket. They found out that it was already washed and torn, so he could not claim the 1.5 million naira bet. You know, he got pissed, he sent her out and all of that. So that was like the breaking point for Nimbe. Like, I was trying to do good by my parents, but since they don't want me, let me just go. And that was how he became fully part of the gang. And like I said, the day of reckoning came when, after Bayo, that Odunlade had gone to apologize to Udwak, they finally decided to go look for their son, and then they saw where he was, and you know, the father was giving all the "I'm your father, we are a disappointment, I spent money on you," and all that stuff. And he says, see, if I you know, that kind of, if I hear you call me disappointment one more time, I felt like that was like a day of reckoning for them. It made them finally realize that they had failed. As a matter of fact, Nimbe did mention that his father failed, you know. So the story was perfect, and like I said, they didn't have to do too much to impress me. They didn't have to do too much to tell a fantastic story. They touched on very burning issues in the society, and they did it well. I enjoyed myself. Like I said, I wasn't bored. I almost couldn't look away from the screen. It was that interesting. Toyin Abraham's acting is fantastic. What? I mean, she had to do the Calabar accent, and she did it so well. At some point, at the point where the gang leader, AK, I mean, because like I said, they all know each other. So Toyin Abraham used to plait the hair of Peju, that's AK's younger sister, and then she realized that her son had started rolling with AK, and then she marched to AK's den to say, leave my son alone. Don't you know Nimbe is my son? I was like, I didn't know. What did he do to you? So AK had to ensure that Nimbe goes back to apologize to his mom. And that scene, that particular scene where AK was telling Nimbe why you should not offend your mother and all that, so it was fantastic. And after Nimbe went back home to apologize to his mom, I was almost in tears with them. It was that emotional. I just feel like there are some movies that should not leave our faces, and Nimbe is one of them. How come nobody screamed about this movie last year when it was released? I understand that it's like number 59th, like in the 59th position of the highest gross movie right now in Nigeria, and I feel like it should have done better. This is the kind of movie I want to scream about. This is the kind of movie I want to rate highly, because I mean everything was good. I have been sitting down before I got here to come shoot the review. I was literally sitting to ask myself, like, what do I want to fault in this movie? I don't see him. As in, I did not see it. Like, I did not see what to fault. It was that perfect. Let me see. Is there anything to fault? I'll leave you guys to decide. If you find it, let me know in the comment section down below what you want to fault about this movie. But as far as I'm concerned, I think this is amazing. It was worth my watch. I think you should see it also. I could go on. And I mean, yeah, the cinematography wasn't as popped. You know, it did not pop as some of the movies we recently have, like Living in Bondage and Merriment and all that stuff. But I can understand. I mean, it's a ghetto movie. You know, they had to give the ghetto setting and all of that. So yeah, I'm just going to permit them for that not popping cinematography that I would have expected in the kind of movie for this era. But to be very honest, I love it. I love it. The acting was... I love Kelechi too. I don't even know who she is. I think this is the first time I'm seeing a movie. I really like everything I saw in that movie, and I think you should watch it. And let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Like I said, Toyin Abraham, she's on my watch list. She's fantastic. I should go all my respect right now. And I think Brother Shaggy is amazing too. I don't know what the connection is between Toyin and Brother Shaggy, because these days every movie I see Toyin, I see Brother Shaggy. I didn't even know that Brother Shaggy had been fully involved in movies until now that I know that he featured in a movie from early last year. I was just thinking I was waiting to see him on Alakada, the new Alakada Toyin is supposed to release. I thought that was going to be like his first movie where he played a major role. But to see him on this one, I think is amazing. I also saw him on The Millions. I think it was on The Millions. I also saw him on The Millions, and Toyin Abraham is also in that movie. So yeah, I liked what I see with the both of them, and I hope it continues. Guys, this is all I have for you right now. Let me know what you think about this movie in the comment section, like I said earlier on. If you're new here, please remember to like and subscribe. And yes, this is totally my opinion. If you don't like it, don't judge me. I like it. I hope you do too. Yeah, that's it. All right, see you soon in another movie review. Thank you for watching. My name is Kelechi Udegbe.